Commander Dae-ho Kim was eating lunch when the alarm sounded. His food tray clattered to the floor as he jumped up and rushed to the command center of Earth Defense Station Alpha. "Report," he shouted as he entered the large room filled with screens and busy officers. "Sir, we have 5 unknown vessels that just appeared near Jupiter's orbit," said Officer Jin, her eyes wide. "They came out of nowhere. Our sensors didn't pick up any approach." Daeho's heart beat faster. After years of looking to the stars and wondering, humanity finally had its answer. They were not alone. "Are they sending any messages?" he asked. "Yes, sir. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. They want to talk." Within minutes, the United Earth government was in emergency session. President Sun Mi-kang's face appeared on the main screen. Her expression was serious but calm. "Commander Kim, you will lead our first contact team. Diplomat Han Byul Park will join you. These aliens call themselves the Galactic Concordat. They say they come in peace, but we must be careful." Dae-ho nodded. "We'll take the diplomatic shuttle. Small, unarmed. Show them we mean no harm." 6 hours later, Dae-ho and Han Byul sat across from the alien representatives in a meeting room on the largest alien ship. The aliens looked almost like tall, thin humans, but with blue-gray skin and large, dark eyes. The alien leader, who called himself Ambassador Raxus, spoke perfect English. "We have been watching your planet for some time," he said. "Your species has potential. That is why we offer you membership in the Galactic Concordat." Han Byul smiled politely. "We are honored. What would this membership mean for Earth?" "Protection," said Raxus. "There are many dangerous species in the galaxy. Under our protection, you would be safe." "And what would Earth provide in return?" asked Dae-ho. Raxus smiled, showing sharp teeth. "Resources, of course. All members contribute. Metals, rare elements, and soldiers." "Soldiers." Dae-ho's eyebrows went up. "Yes, the Concordat is currently engaged in peacekeeping operations in several systems. Your species has shown remarkable skill in warfare. This would be your primary contribution." Han Byul leaned forward. "You want our people to fight in your wars." "Not our wars," Raxus said smoothly. "The Concordat's necessary actions to maintain galactic stability. You should feel honored. Most species are simply conquered. We're offering you partnership." Dae-ho and Han Byul exchanged glances. "We would need to discuss this with our government," Han Byul said carefully. "Of course." Raxus spread his long-fingered hands. "Take all the time you need. We'll wait in orbit around your moon." Back on the shuttle, Dae-ho punched the wall. "They don't want allies. They want cannon fodder and resources." Han Byul nodded grimly. "I noticed they mentioned conquered species. This Concordat isn't a peaceful alliance. It's an empire." When they reported to President Kang and the Earth Council, the room fell silent. "So," the president finally said, "they expect us to just hand over our resources and our people to fight their wars, without any say in how those wars are conducted or why." "Yes, Madam President," said Han Byul. "And they seem to think we should be grateful for the offer." Military strategist Ji-woo Lee, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "We should study everything we can about their technology while they're here. If we refuse them, we need to be ready." President Kang nodded. "Send a message to Ambassador Raxus. Tell him Earth appreciates their offer, but respectfully declines at this time." Dae-ho looked out the window at the stars. "They won't take no for an answer, will they?" "I don't think so," said Ji-woo. "But they don't know humans very well, if they think we'll surrender without a fight." None of them knew then just how right Ji-woo was, or how soon that fight would come. 3 months passed quickly. Earth used this time wisely. Military strategist Ji-woo Lee led teams working day and night to study the brief scans they had taken of the alien ships. "Their technology is advanced, but not magical," Ji-woo told the World Security Council. We've already learned so much from just those few hours of contact. Engineer Taeyong Choi nodded in agreement. He was young but brilliant, with messy hair and eyes that sparkled with excitement. Their shield technology is based on principles we understand. We just never thought to apply them this way. President Sun Mikang was about to respond when Commander Daeho Kim burst into the room. "They're back," he said, his face grim. "And there are more of them this time. 20 ships, not 5. The largest screen in the room showed the alien fleet. It was an impressive sight, ships of different sizes arranged in perfect formation. "They're sending a message," said Communications Officer Yuri. "Text only." The message appeared on screen. "Prepare to receive Supreme Commander VELX, UAAV-1 HOR. Not very friendly this time, muttered Hanbyul Park. 1 hour later, a shuttle landed at the designated meeting point in Geneva. The alien who stepped out was not Ambassador Raxus. This alien was taller, with darker skin and a rigid posture. 4 armed guards flanked him. "I am Supreme Commander Velox," the alien announced without any greeting. "The Concordat has considered your response and found it unacceptable." President Kang stood tall despite being much shorter than the alien. "We appreciate your return, Commander, but our position remains unchanged. Earth will not supply soldiers for wars we have no part in." Velox's face showed no emotion. "You misunderstand. This is not a negotiation. It is an ultimatum. Join the Concordat, or be destroyed." A cold silence fell over the room. Jitwoo Lee stepped forward. "And if we join, what exactly would that mean for Earth? You will provide resources as requested. You will provide soldiers as needed. You will accept Concordat governance." Velox spoke as if reading from a list. "In return, you will not be destroyed." Hanbyul's diplomatic training was tested to its limits. "Supreme Commander, surely we can find middle ground. We seek peaceful relations with all galactic species. Peace is available through membership only," said Velox flatly. "Decide now." Hanbyul exchanged a quick glance with President Kang, who gave a subtle nod. "We request 48 hours to prepare our world for this significant change," Hanbyul said smoothly. "Joining the Concordat will require us to inform all Earth nations and prepare our people." Velox seemed surprised by this apparent surrender. "Very well. You have 48 hours to prepare for integration. We will return then for your formal submission." After the aliens left, President Kang gathered her core team. "Is it ready?" she asked Taeyong Choi. The young engineer nodded. "The planetary shield will work. We've been testing it in secret locations. It's based on their own technology, but with our improvements." "And they have no idea we've developed this?" asked Daeho. "None," said Jiwoo. "They think we're still using basic rocket technology. Their arrogance is our advantage." President Kang looked around the room at the determined faces. "We never wanted this fight. But if they won't accept our independence, we'll have to show them why that's a mistake." She turned to Military Commander Hyun-woo Baek, who had been silently observing. "Prepare our defenses. Make sure every ship and weapon is ready." Hyun-woo nodded. "The fleet is in position, hidden behind the moon, and in the asteroid belt. They'll never see us coming." "And if this fails?" asked Hanbyul quietly. President Kang's face was solemn. "Then humanity goes down fighting. But I don't think it will come to that." She looked at Taeyong with confidence. "Our enemies have underestimated human ingenuity. That will be their first mistake." As the meeting ended, Daeho looked out at the night sky. The alien ships were not visible from Earth, but he knew they were there, waiting. In just 48 hours, they would learn that humans don't surrender easily. The 48 hours passed quickly. All around Earth, people waited nervously. They knew about the aliens now. President Kang had told everyone the truth in a worldwide broadcast. At the agreed time, the human delegation boarded their shuttle. Hanbyul Park adjusted her formal suit and looked at her team. Commander Daeho Kim, Military Commander Hyun Woo Baek, and Engineer Taeyong Choi. "Remember the plan," she said quietly. "No matter what they say or do, we stick to the plan." The meeting was set on a neutral space station halfway between Earth and the alien fleet. When the humans arrived, they found representatives from 6 different alien species waiting. Supreme Commander Velox sat in the center, with Ambassador Raxus beside him. "Welcome," said Velox. His voice was cold. "Are you prepared to announce Earth's submission to the Concordat?" The aliens watched with smug expressions. Some even seemed to be enjoying this moment. Han Byul stepped forward. Her face was calm, her voice steady. "Supreme Commander, distinguished representatives of the Galactic Concordat, we appreciate the time you have given us to consider your offer." She paused, looking each alien in the eye before continuing. "After careful consideration, Earth must respectfully decline membership in the Concordat." The room went silent. Then Velox laughed, a harsh sound. "Perhaps you misunderstood. This is not an offer you can decline. It is submit or be destroyed." "We understood perfectly," said Han Byul. "Earth chooses neither option. We declare ourselves independent of any galactic interference." Ambassador Raxus leaned forward. "You cannot simply declare independence. Your species is primitive. You have no FTL travel, no advanced weapons." Hyun Woo Baek stepped forward and placed a small device on the table. He pressed a button, and a hologram appeared showing detailed schematics of Concordat ships, weapons, and shield systems. "Are these the weapons we don't understand?" he asked calmly. The aliens stared in shock at the display. "Impossible," whispered one alien with green skin. "They've only had contact with us for a few hours. They couldn't have learned so much." Taeyong Choi smiled. 3 months was plenty of time. "Your shield technology is actually quite elegant. We've already improved it." Supreme Commander Velox's face darkened with rage. "This changes nothing. Our fleet will turn your planet to ash." Daeho Kim, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "You could try, but you should know that every ship in your fleet has been scanned and analyzed. We know your weaknesses." Han Byul raised her hand for silence. "We did not come to threaten. We came to state our position clearly. Earth will not join the Concordat. Earth will not be conquered. Earth wishes to establish peaceful relations with all galactic species as equals." Velox stood up so quickly his chair fell backward. "Primitives do not dictate terms to the Concordat. You will submit or—" "This meeting is over," Han Byul interrupted. She looked at her team and nodded. As one, the humans stood up. Without another word, without looking back, they walked toward the door. "Stop them," Velox shouted. "Guards." Armed aliens moved to block the exit, but they hesitated when Hyunwoo simply smiled at them. "I wouldn't," he said quietly. "The station's defense systems are now under our control." This was a bluff, but the aliens couldn't know that. They stepped aside. As the humans walked out, Ambassador Raxus called after them. "You're making a terrible mistake. No species has ever defied the Concordat and survived." Han Byul paused at the doorway and looked back one last time. "Perhaps that's why the galaxy needs humans," she said. The door closed behind them, leaving the galactic representatives in stunned silence. For the first time in the Concordat's long history, a species had simply walked away from their demands. And the worst part, the humans didn't even seem afraid. Supreme Commander Velox paced the bridge of his massive warship, his long fingers curled into fists. "How dare they?" he hissed. "No species has ever walked away from the Concordat. These humans must learn their place." "Sir," said his second-in-command, "our fleet is in position. All 20 ships are ready to attack." Velox smiled coldly. "Begin the assault. Show no mercy." On Earth, in the main defense center beneath the Rocky Mountains, Chief of Earth Defense Min Seo-yoon watched the alien fleet move into attack formation. Her face showed no fear, only focus. "They're coming," she announced to the room of officers and technicians. "All stations, prepare for defense." President Kang's voice came through the speakers. "Is the shield ready, Min Seo?" "Yes, Madam President. Engineer Choi's team has the system at full power." Throughout the solar system, hidden human ships waited. Captain Do-hyun Kang sat in the command chair of the Earth ship Defiance, hidden behind the dark side of the moon. His crew was nervous but ready. "Remember your training," Do-hyun told them. "We've prepared for this. We know their weak points." On the main view screen, they watched as the alien fleet approached Earth. The ships were huge and deadly looking. "They're charging weapons," reported Sensor Officer Jun. "They're about to fire." In the defense center, Min Seo took a deep breath. "Activate the shield now." Engineer Ta-yong Choi, who had returned from the peace talks just in time, pressed his hand on the activation panel. Shield activated. A soft blue glow spread around the planet, barely visible but completely enclosing Earth. The alien fleet fired. 20 powerful energy beams struck the shield at once. The room shook, but the shield held. On the Concordat flagship, Villox stared in disbelief. "Impossible. They shouldn't have shield technology." "Sir," said a frightened officer, "we're detecting ships everywhere. From behind the moon, from within the asteroid belt, from hiding places near Mars and Venus, the Earth fleet emerged. They were smaller than the alien ships but faster. All ships, attack pattern Delta," ordered Do-hyun. "Target their engine sections as planned." The human ships moved in ways the aliens had never seen before. They flew in tight formations, then split apart at the last second. They made turns that should have torn them apart. Some even flew directly at the alien weapons, only to dodge away just before impact. "What are they doing?" asked Villox. "These maneuvers are suicidal." But they weren't. The human pilots had trained in simulations based on the Concordat ship's capabilities. They knew exactly how close they could get. Min Seo watched from Earth as the battle unfolded in space. "Now," she said, "launch the EMP weapons." Small rockets fired from Earth's surface. They didn't look dangerous, and the aliens ignored them. That was a mistake. When the rockets exploded, they released electromagnetic pulses that disrupted the alien shields. "Their shields are down on 3 ships," shouted Do-hyun. "All fighters, attack now." The human fighters swarmed the vulnerable alien ships. They fired precisely at the weak points identified by Earth's engineers. 2 alien ships exploded. A third drifted, dead in space. On the Concordat flagship, alarms blared. Officers ran in panic. "We've lost 3 ships already," reported the second in command. "And our main weapons can't penetrate their planetary shield." Villox couldn't believe what he was seeing. How? How is this possible? They're primitives. For the first time in his long military career, Villox felt fear. These humans were not fighting like any species he had encountered before. They were unpredictable, creative, dangerous. "Sir," said his tactical officer, "what are your orders?" Villox stared at the battle unfolding on his screens. More of his ships were taking heavy damage. The humans were winning. "Regroup," he finally said, his voice quiet. "All ships, pull back to safe distance." The mighty Concordat fleet was retreating from Earth. On the planet Celtrax, in the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council, silence fell. The assembled alien leaders watched the battle recording for the 3rd time. No one spoke as they saw the mighty Concordat fleet retreat from Earth. Council member Draz, a tall being with 4 arms and silver skin, finally broke the silence. "This cannot be real. No species has ever defeated a Concordat attack force." "The recording is genuine," said the Council's head of intelligence. "The humans not only survived, they won. They destroyed 5 Concordat ships and damaged 7 more. Across the galaxy, the news spread like wildfire. On planets that had been under Concordat control for centuries, people whispered about the humans. Some called them saviors. Others called them dangerous. All were amazed. Back on Earth, engineer Taeyong Choi worked day and night with his team. The battle had given them new data about alien technology. In a secure lab deep underground, he made a breakthrough. "I've done it," he shouted, startling his assistant. "I've figured out how their communication system works. We can send messages faster than they can." President Kang called an emergency meeting when she heard the news. "If we can communicate across the galaxy," she said, "we can reach other species. We can tell them they don't have to submit to the Concordat." Military strategist Ji Woo Lee nodded in agreement. The Concordat's power comes from fear. If other species learn they can fight back, everything changes. "We need to be careful," warned Han Bail. "We don't want to start a galactic war." "The war already started when they attacked us," said Commander Daeho Kim. "But I agree we should be strategic about this." They decided to send messages to 5 planets known to be unhappy under Concordat rule. The messages included technical information about shields and weapons. They also included a simple offer: friendship and alliance. On the planet Nivara, the message arrived in secret. The Nivaran resistance leader, Krell, couldn't believe what she was seeing. The humans were offering technology that could free her people after 300 years of Concordat rule. "Can we trust them?" asked her lieutenant. Krell studied the message again. "The Concordat has only brought us pain. These humans offer hope. I say we take the chance." Similar scenes played out on 4 other planets. Species that had been conquered and controlled for generations saw a new possibility: freedom. Meanwhile, Supreme Commander Velox faced the anger of the Concordat's ruling council. "You failed," shouted the head counselor. "One primitive planet, and you failed to conquer it." Velox bowed his head. "These humans, they are different. They learn too fast. They fight in ways we've never seen." "Excuses." The counselor slammed his fist down. "Gather a larger fleet. 50 ships this time. Crush them completely." "It will take time to gather so many ships," said Velox. "Our forces are spread across the galaxy." "Then do it quickly," ordered the counselor, "before this rebellion spreads." But it was already too late. Using Taeyong's communication breakthrough, Earth had made contact with resistance movements on 12 planets. Plans were being made. Technology was being shared. For the first time in 1,000 years, the Concordat faced a real threat. On Earth, Captain Do-hyun Kang prepared to lead a diplomatic mission to meet with Krell and other resistance leaders. His ship, now improved with alien technology, could reach Nivara in just 5 days. "We're making history," he told his crew as they prepared to depart. "We're not just defending Earth anymore. We're changing the galaxy." As Earth's first diplomatic ship jumped to faster than light speed, people across the planet cheered. Humanity was no longer alone, and no longer just reacting to the Concordat's threats. Now, they were taking the fight to the stars. 6 months after the Battle of Earth, a historic meeting took place. In a large conference room in Geneva, representatives from 7 alien species sat with Earth's leaders. The room buzzed with different languages, but everyone wore small translator devices created by Taeyong's team. President Sun Mi-kang stood to speak. "Welcome to Earth, friends. For many of you, this is the first time you've been able to travel freely in generations." Krell, the Nivaran resistance leader, nodded. Her skin had a purple tint and her eyes were large, but her smile was easy to understand. "The Concordat kept our ships grounded. They feared what would happen if different species met without their control." "They were right to fear it," said Jacques, a short, stocky representative from Taylor. "Look at us now, planning their downfall." Military strategist Ji Woo Lee activated a holographic display in the center of the table. It showed the known galaxy, with Concordat territories highlighted in red. "The Concordat is still powerful," Ji Woo said. "They control over 300 star systems and have thousands of warships. But they've never faced organized resistance before." "What exactly are you proposing?" asked Mira, a tall, slender being from the water world of Aqualis. Jewu looked at each alien representative before answering. We propose a true alliance, not like the Concordat, where one group rules over others. Our coalition would be based on equality, mutual defense, and shared technology. The alien representatives looked at each other. This idea was new to them. Many of their species had been enemies before the Concordat conquered them all. "How can we trust each other?" asked Dorv, whose rocky skin reflected the light. "The Concordat has kept us apart for centuries, fed us lies about each other." Han Byol Park spoke up. "That's exactly why we must work together. Divided, we can be conquered. United, we can be free." As they discussed details of the alliance, alarms suddenly blared. Security Chief Yi Junsong rushed into the room. "We've detected intruders," he announced. "Concordat assassins have breached the outer perimeter." Guards moved to protect the delegates as Yi Jun organized the response. Within minutes, his security teams had captured 3 Concordat agents. One had been killed while resisting, but the others were taken alive. Later, after the danger had passed, the delegates gathered again. The captured assassins were being held in a secure facility. "The Concordat would have executed them immediately," said Krell. "What will you do with them?" Commander Daeho Kim looked to President Kang, who nodded. "We will offer them a choice," said Daeho. "They can provide us with information about Concordat plans and join our coalition as free individuals, or they can remain as prisoners, treated humanely, until the conflict ends." The alien delegates were surprised. "You would trust former Concordat agents?" asked Stocks. "Everyone deserves a chance to choose freedom," said Han Byol. "That's what makes us different from the Concordat." To everyone's surprise, 3 of the captured agents accepted the offer. They had seen enough of the coalition meeting to realize this was something new in the galaxy. As the day ended, the representatives signed the founding document of the Coalition of Free Worlds. Commander Daeho Kim was elected as its first military coordinator, with Krell as his deputy. "Today, we've done what the Concordat thought impossible," said President Kang. "We've united species that were meant to fear each other. This is just the beginning." Outside the building, citizens from Earth and the visiting aliens celebrated together. News of the coalition spread quickly across Earth and to resistant movements on dozens of worlds. For the first time in a millennium, the Concordat's grip on the galaxy was beginning to weaken, and it had all started when humans simply walked away from peace talks. 3 months after forming the coalition, things were moving quickly. Ships from all 8 member species trained together. Technology was shared. Friendships formed. But the Concordat was not sitting idle. Intelligence Officer Soo-Jin Rhee brought worrying news to the Coalition Command Center on Earth's moon. "They're gathering a massive fleet," she reported, showing images taken by spies. "Over 100 ships, the largest force they've assembled in 200 years. Commander Daeho Kim studied the images with concern. "Their target? Earth," said Soo-Jin. "They want to make an example of us, to show the galaxy what happens to those who defy them." The coalition leaders gathered for an emergency meeting. Representatives from all 8 species looked grim as they reviewed the intelligence. "We cannot match them ship for ship," said Krell, "even with all our combined forces." Captain Do-hyun Kang, who had been quietly listening, suddenly spoke up. "Then we don't fight them directly. We hit them where they don't expect." All eyes turned to him. "What do you mean?" asked Jacques. Do-hyun stood and approached the star map. "The Concordat is gathering their forces from across the galaxy. They're leaving their home system, Magnorum, lightly defended." Military strategist Ji Woo Lee's eyes widened. "You're suggesting we attack their capital?" "Exactly," said Do-hyun. "While their fleet is focused on us, we strike at their heart." The room filled with excited chatter. This was bold, perhaps too bold. "It's risky," said Daeho. "But sometimes the best defense is a strong offense." He turned to engineer Taeyong Choi. "Do we have the technology for this?" Taeyong nodded. "We've developed stealth systems based on the Concordat's own technology. Their sensors won't detect our ships until it's too late. The plan was set. While the main coalition forces prepared to defend Earth, Captain Do Hyun Kang would lead a small, elite fleet on a daring mission to Magnorum. The day of the mission arrived. Do Hyun's fleet of 12 ships, small, fast, and equipped with the best stealth technology, prepared to depart. Remember, Do Hyun told his crews, our goal isn't destruction. We're not like the Concordat. The ships jumped to light speed. 5 days later, they reached the outskirts of the Magnorum system. As expected, the defenses were minimal. Most ships had been sent to attack Earth. Stealth systems active, reported Do Hyun's second-in-command. We're approaching the first defense line. Heart pounding, Do Hyun watched as they slipped past the outer defenses without being detected. It was working. Soon, they were in orbit around Magnorum itself, the Concordat's capital world. The planet was beautiful, with gleaming cities and vast oceans. We're in position, said Do Hyun. Begin the broadcast. This was the true purpose of their mission. Not to bombard the planet as the Concordat would have done, but to communicate directly with its people. On Magnorum, billions of citizens were shocked when their screens suddenly changed. The Concordat symbol disappeared, replaced by the face of a human, Captain Do Hyun Kang. People of Magnorum, he said, I am Captain Kang of the Coalition of Free Worlds. For centuries, your leaders have told you they bring peace to the galaxy. Today, we show you the truth. The broadcast showed evidence of Concordat atrocities, worlds stripped of resources, species enslaved, resistors executed. It also showed the coalition worlds, where different species work together as equals. You have been lied to, continued Do Hyun. The Concordat doesn't protect the galaxy. It controls it. It doesn't bring peace. It demands submission. The broadcast ended with a simple message. You have a choice. Join us in building a galaxy based on freedom and cooperation, not fear and control. On Magnorum, citizens looked at each other in confusion and shock. Some dismissed the broadcast as enemy propaganda, but many began to ask questions they had never dared ask before. The counteroffensive had begun, not with weapons, but with truth. The effects of Captain Do Hyun's broadcast spread faster than anyone expected. On Magnorum, citizens took to the streets. They demanded answers from their leaders. Some even stormed government buildings. When Supreme Commander Velox and the Concordat High Council learned of the broadcast, they were furious. They immediately ordered their massive fleet to return from Earth to restore order. Our capital is in chaos, shouted the head counselor. These humans have gone too far. Velox glared at the tactical display. We should never have underestimated them, he said quietly. On Earth, the coalition celebrated the success of their mission. All 12 ships had returned safely, and reports from across the galaxy told of spreading unrest. The Concordat fleet is turning back, announced Su Jin-ri. They won't attack Earth now. They're too busy dealing with problems at home. President Sun Mi-kang nodded with satisfaction. Then it's time for the next phase. Han Byol, are you ready? Ambassador Han Byol Park stood tall. Yes, Madam President. The diplomatic team is prepared. Within days, Han Byol was addressing the reformed Galactic Council. Many former Concordat officials had been removed. New representatives from previously subjugated worlds took their places. The Coalition of Free Worlds extends a hand of friendship to all species, Han Byol said. We do not seek to replace one empire with another. We seek a galaxy where all worlds have a voice. She presented the Charter of Galactic Rights, a document that guaranteed freedom, equality, and self-determination for all sentient beings. Those who accept these principles are welcome to join our alliance, she continued. Even those who once served the Concordat. We offer amnesty, not revenge. Many former Concordat officials were surprised. They had expected punishment, perhaps even execution. Instead, they were being offered a fresh start. Meanwhile, in a hidden fortress on a remote moon, Supreme Commander Velox and his loyal followers prepared for a last stand. "We will rebuild the Concordat," he told his officers. "These humans and their allies cannot change thousands of years of order." But Velox had underestimated humans one final time. Coalition forces, led by Commander Hyun Woo-baek, had tracked them to their hideout. "Surrender peacefully." Hyun Woo's message boomed throughout the fortress. "You will be treated fairly under the new charter." Velox laughed bitterly. "Fairly? I know what that means." He activated explosive devices planted throughout the fortress. "If I die, I take you all with me." The explosions rocked the structure. Dust filled the air. But when it cleared, Velox was shocked to find the coalition forces protected by advanced shield technology. "Impossible," he whispered as coalition soldiers entered the room. Instead of killing him, they took him into custody. Velox would stand trial for his crimes, but even he would be treated with basic dignity, a concept the Concordat had never understood. 1 year after humans had walked away from peace talks, representatives from over 50 species gathered on Earth to sign the final version of the Galactic Charter. President Sun Mi-kang, now serving as the first chairperson of the Galactic Alliance, addressed the historic assembly. "Today marks a new beginning for all our peoples," she said. "We have proven that cooperation is stronger than domination. That diversity is a strength, not a weakness. That freedom is the right of all sentient beings." In the audience, Dae-ho Kim sat next to Krell, Jacques, and other friends from across the stars. He thought back to that first contact, when alien ships appeared near Jupiter. So much had changed since then. "Did you ever imagine it would end like this?" asked Krell. Dae-ho smiled. "I'm not sure it's an ending at all," he said. "I think it's just the beginning." As the ceremony concluded, the assembled beings rose in applause. A new era had begun, sparked by the courage of humans who simply walked away from a bad deal and changed the galaxy forever.